Hi, this is Luke with the Gamer, and here's a beginner's guide to the brand new DMZ mode in Call of Duty Warzone 2.0. Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2 has reworked Warzone and launched its new DMZ mode with Season 1, both of which are free to play. DMZ is Infinity Ward's take on Extraction Royale, a subgenre dominated by games like Escape from Tarkov and Hunt Showdown. In DMZ, your goal is simple: survive, scavenge for materials, earn reputation with factions, and make your way out of Mazrah alive. You can earn unique weapon blueprints, operator cosmetics, and even entire weapons in this new game mode. In this video, we'll cover everything you need to know about this brand new mode, showcasing its unique progression system, faction missions, and we'll cover how to get your hands on Season 1's M13B assault rifle. DMZ is an extraction royale mode for Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2, free for all players. You're thrown into Mazrah and have a limited window to scavenge supplies, complete faction missions, and defeat bosses before extracting. But you only get one life in this mode, so don't waste it. Compared to Warzone 2.0, DMZ is more focused on objectives and looting than direct PvP action. The goal of DMZ is to increase faction reputation and gear your operator up for future DMZ runs, not to be the last surviving player. As such, it draws parallels to other extraction royales like Escape from Tarkov and Hunt Showdown, but DMZ is far more casual than those games. DMZ offers exclusive rewards for fans of Modern Warfare 2 and Warzone, including weapon blueprints and new weapons entirely. As of DMZ's launch, the M13B assault rifle can only be unlocked by playing this mode or purchasing an M13B weapon blueprint from the in-game store. If you don't care about weapon blueprints, you'll at least want to play a few games of DMZ to get your hands on the M13B. Beyond that, DMZ offers an intense experience similar to Warzone, but with more persistent elements, so fans of Warzone looking for something more objective oriented might enjoy DMZ. Before you drop into the DMZ, you must first kit your operator out with weapons and equipment. You'll start DMZ with 6 contraband weapons, gear that stays in the DMZ if you die. If you bring contraband weapons and are unable to extract them, those weapons are permanently lost, so be mindful of what you're packing, as contraband weapons also may not be modified via the gunsmith. You'll also have access to one insured weapon to start. Insured weapons can be any weapon unlocked in Modern Warfare 2's multiplayer or Warzone modes, and these weapons may be modified through the gunsmith system, but failing to extract with an insured weapon will put it on a 2-hour cooldown before you can use it again. This timer can be reduced by extracting with cash. The more cash you have when you extract, the bigger cooldown reduction you'll receive. Eventually you can unlock up to 3 insured weapon slots, although you'll need to complete a lot of faction missions to get there, something we'll talk about later. Beyond your weapons, you may also bring a lethal, tactical, and field upgrade with you on any DMZ run. And tactical, lethal, and field upgrades are not lost on death, so feel free to bring whatever you want. And additional equipment may be found in Mazrah through your DMZ run. And you might notice a few more inventory slots while you're kitting out your operator. These consist of on-soldier items and your backpack. So here's a quick rundown of how they work. Your on-soldier equipment consists of an armor vest, gas mask, kill streak, and even a self-revive. Unlike Warzone, extracting with these items equipped will keep them for your next DMZ run. However, these items are lost on death. Meanwhile, in your backpack, you can see how much inventory space you have. You also can bring keys scavenged from past DMZ runs. Keys may be used to open locked buildings and hidden areas for rare loot, but you can only use a key a maximum of 3 times before it breaks. Spare backpacks and armor vests are not kept on extraction though. Your largest backpack and vest are automatically equipped after you exfil. No other items excluding weapons are preserved between DMZ runs. Anything else you extract will be converted into XP, including spare armor vests and backpacks. The last thing to check before you jump into the DMZ is your faction menu. Located next to the matchmaking button, faction missions provide exclusive rewards and large XP bundles for completing certain objectives in the DMZ. These objectives range from raiding AI-controlled strongholds to refueling vehicles in Mazrah. Up to 3 faction missions may be active per run. To start, you'll have access to 4 missions from Legion, the first faction in the DMZ. Complete all 4 of these missions and you'll unlock the White Lotus faction, and then complete 6 missions for both factions to unlock the Black Mouse, the final faction. Each faction in DMZ will have different objectives for you to complete, and the difficulties of these missions seem to be tied to the faction itself. Legion provide the easiest missions, White Lotus are the medium missions, and Black Mouse are the hardest missions. But missions get progressively more demanding as you level up each faction, so you'll want to focus on gearing your operator as you increase your reputation. And if you're ever unclear as to which rank you are with each faction, check the Faction Missions tab and look in the top left corner of the screen. The selected faction will state your current reputation rank with this faction. So long as the objectives were completed during a run, failed or otherwise, you'll complete your faction mission. Each faction mission grants XP and a unique reward when completed. The second reward ranges from DMZ goodies such as contraband weapons or keys, to cosmetic goods that also work in multiplayer and Warzone modes. Double XP tokens are also earnable through DMZ, and XP rewards scale based on faction rank, starting at 5,000 plus XP earned with rank 1 missions. Once you're in the DMZ, what you do is entirely up to your squad. Most players should focus on completing their faction missions before extracting, but these missions can be finished at any time. You can focus on scavenging for materials, gearing up your character for future DMZ runs, or you might want to take on the chemist boss near the centre of Mazrah to unlock the M13B assault rifle. The experience is mostly sandbox driven, but you have 30 minutes to complete your goals and extract, because failure to extract will void all items you found during your run. We suggest that you focus on faction missions for your first few runs, complete 2 or 3 missions and then immediately make your way to extraction. The first few faction missions do a good job of introducing you to the way DMZ works, some of which might feel familiar if you've played Warzone 2. But don't underestimate the AI. The bots in DMZ are incredibly tough, comparable to hardened or veteran difficulty in Modern Warfare 2's campaign. Focus on headshots, use your tactical equipment often, and try and engage from a distance, because playing too aggressively will get you killed. Mazrah is a massive map sharing the same layout as Warzone 2.0. You'll want to make ample use of your map, open the same way you'd view a multiplayer scoreboard. This map will give you a clear view of extraction points, but you'll want to zoom in on the location to quickly find points of interest, because your map can track tons of key locations, including UAV towers, buy stations, vehicles, notable buildings such as gas stations or police academies, optional contracts, and AI strongholds. DMZ also uses the same prioritized loot system as Warzone 2. If you're looking for medicine, you want to check bathroom medicine cabinets or hospitals. Gas canisters can be often found near gas stations, and weapons can usually be found in police stations. Bear this in mind as you plan your route through Mazrah. More importantly, you'll want to find a vehicle as soon as possible. You can't traverse the whole map in 30 minutes on foot, so a vehicle is mandatory if you want to chase down supply drops or find AI bosses. Zoom in on your location and nab a nearby vehicle, but remember that vehicles actually have a fuel meter now, so keep a few gas canisters on hand if you've got a long drive ahead. At any point during a DMZ match, you may extract by moving to one of the extraction points marked on your map. The LZ will have a green smoke denoting a valid extraction point, and interacting with this smoke will start an extraction sequence. Every player near the extraction point will be notified that the extraction has begun, and AI will start to converge on your location. You'll have about a minute to survive before the extraction helicopter arrives. Once it arrives, your team will have 35 seconds to board the helicopter and leave. Missing the window will leave you stranded, forcing you to evac somewhere else. So get in the helicopter, stay alive for a few seconds, and you'll be extracted out of the DMZ with all of your goods intact. 3 extraction points are active throughout a DMZ game. A 4th extraction point becomes available towards the end of a match when radiation begins to converge on Mazrah, similar to how Warzone works. This is everyone's final chance to extract, so expect a tough fight if you find yourself in this situation. Similar to Warzone, optional contracts may be found while exploring the DMZ. Interacting with one will provide an optional objective thematically linked with the contract in question. For example, HVT contracts will ask you to defeat an AI mini-boss somewhere on the map. Completing contracts grants a large cash payout, typically around $5,000. Use this currency to purchase equipment at buy stations before you extract. Another route you could take is to check out strongholds. AI soldiers have fortified certain buildings in Mazrah, showcased by a rook-shaped icon on your map. The building itself is heavily fortified, protected by armed guards with riot shields and high damage weapons, and entry into a stronghold requires a key card accessed by defeating nearby guards or purchased from a buy station. Clearing a stronghold is your main way of finding better contraband items and intel for certain faction missions. So clear strongholds when you need a cash injection or you're looking for a particularly rare item. The chemist is a boss located in an isolated radiation field in Mazrah, denoted by a small yellow circle on the map. This area contains a lingering radiation field that deals constant damage per second, requiring you to find radiation consumables, use the battle rage field upgrade, or try and find a gas mask to stay alive. You'll find the chemist in this area in a radiation suit out in the open, but surrounded by lots of armoured enemies. Trying to fight the chemist in the open is suicide as they have a high HP pool and are protected by lots of armed enemies. We recommend grabbing a vehicle and trying to run the chemist over, as your car will deal far more damage than any weapon. Once you've killed him, you'll need to grab his gun, the M13, and successfully exfil to unlock it. But it's worth noting, only the player holding the M13 will unlock it after extraction. However, to offset this, you can easily just have the M13 holder stay with the party and start another DMZ match, drop the rifle immediately and then extract again for another player to unlock it, and repeat this until all of your friends have it. So there's a guide to the brand new DMZ mode in Modern Warfare 2. Thanks for watching and check out thegamer.com for more.